Welcome to the Key Learning Initiative. Today's topic is a monomial times a polynomial. Let's look at the method that we're going to be using. When we multiply into a bracket, we use the distributive law. The method I'm going to be showing you is known as the rainbow method. There are many other methods, but the one we're doing today is the rainbow method. So let's have a look at our first example. Here we have 2x into a bracket 3x plus 4. So the first thing we do is we draw our rainbow from our 2x to our 3x and from our 2x to the plus 4. And now we work from here. We say 2x times 3x. So 2 times 3 will give you 6. And x times x will give you x squared. Now we move on to the next one, the yellow part of the rainbow. 2 times positive 4. Positive times a positive is a positive, so it's plus. 2 times 4 is 8, and then we've got our x. And there is our answer. 6x squared plus 8x. So, basically, what we've done is multiplied the term outside the bracket by all the terms inside the bracket. In other words, we have distributed the 2x into the bracket. So let's look at another example. Example 2. 5y into 2x minus 3z. Again, we start off by building our rainbow from our 5y to our 2x and our 5y to our negative 3z. And now we multiply. So, 5 times 2 is 10, and then y times x is xy. Now we move on to the yellow part. 5y times negative 3z. So my positive 5 times my negative 3 will give me a negative. 5 times 3 is 15. Then I have y times z, which gives me yz. Okay, hopefully you're starting to see it. Let's do another example. Example 3. Negative into the bracket of 8q squared minus 3. We start off, we draw our rainbow as usual. And now we distribute the negative into my bracket. So I have a negative times positive 8q squared. Negative times a positive gives me a negative 8q squared. Now when I look at the yellow part, I have a negative times a negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive 3. Notice when I distribute just a negative into the bracket, my positives become negative and my negatives become positive. 8q squared becomes negative 8q squared, and negative 3 becomes positive 3. Let's look at our next example. Example 4. 3x subtract 2x into the bracket 3x plus 4. Now this has got two parts to it, and we have to remember BODMAS, otherwise we mess things up. BODMAS says we have to do multiply before we subtract. And so in other words, we have to do this part here, the negative 2x, into the bracket before we subtract that from the 3x. So let's have a look at how we do this. Again, we put our rainbow together. Let's have a look. This equals, we don't touch the 3x straight away. Now, minus 2x times 3x. That's the blue part of our rainbow. A minus times a plus gives me a minus. 2 times 3 gives me 6. And x times x gives me x squared. Now I look at the yellow part of my rainbow. Negative 2x times plus 4. And negative times a positive gives me a negative. 2 times 4 gives me 8. And then I've got my x. Now I need to look at like terms. So my 3x and my negative 8x are like terms. Let's add and subtract as we can. So that gives me negative 6x squared minus 5x. I get my 5x when I have 3x and I subtract 8x from it. Let's look at another example. Example 5. Now we have a monomial into a trinomial, so 1 term into 3. Here we draw our rainbow again, but instead of 2 parts to our rainbow, we now have 3 parts. Let's see how we do it. So, our blue part of the rainbow, 2 times 3 gives me 6, x times x squared gives me x cubed. Now we move on to the yellow part, 2x times negative x. A negative and a positive give me a negative 2 and then x squared. I look at my last term, or my red part of the rainbow, 2x times plus 4. Well, a positive and a positive gives me a positive, 2 times 4 gives me 8, and then x. Very, very simple. You just draw your rainbow and multiply the two ends of it to get each term. Let's look at one last example. So, here is our next question. Our 2x, while monomial, is now after the bracket. This doesn't happen too often, but it does sometimes happen. Again, we draw our rainbow, but instead of from the front going to the back, we now go from the back to the front. So, we start off with our blue one. 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. Same as we've always done. Now we look at the yellow part of the rainbow. 2 times plus 4 gives me plus 8, and then x. Very easy. So, thank you for watching a monomial times a polynomial. I hope they have helped. Please like and share and let everybody know. Any comments are always welcome. Thank you.